Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family to PSGINT News. #1. In today's video, we'll be going through the recent big breaking news that have been dropping right ahead of the Paris Saint-Germain Spurs UEFA Super Cup final. So, let's get into it. First thing here, Justin Barney has been given the green light by Bournemouth to travel for his medical. He's expected to be in Paris. He has been in Paris. He's had his medical. He signed his contract. This is obviously the recent Ousmane Dembele news. Ousmane Dembele was absent from today's collective training yesterday session due to a viral syndrome. He's set to return to training tomorrow, thus will be present in the squad headed to Udine for the UEFA Super Cup versus Tottenham. So Dembele had viral syndrome. He's had this actually before. And one reason actually they don't also want the players to train is, to give the virus to someone else and so on. So this was just more a precautionary measure. Ousmane Dembele will be starting the UEFA Super Cup final. This I obviously reported previously here on YouTube. Breaking: João Neves will not participate in the UEFA Super Cup versus Tottenham on Wednesday and in the opening day of Ligue 1 versus Nantes on Sunday, following the red card he received in the FIFA Club World Cup final versus Chelsea. Obviously, FIFA Club World Cup final is FIFA. This is UEFA. They shouldn't entangle the two different competitions, a red card. But this has been the decision by, I guess, the football governing body. This was the decision they came to. So João Neves is not part of the squad for the Tottenham game. It will not be part of the squad for the FC Nantes game, unfortunately. But we have a great squad. Barney successfully completed his medical examination last night. Only a few details remain before PSG officially announced his arrival. Still has not been announced. Chelsea and Manchester United have acquired about Gialuigi Donnarumma, and the two clubs have expressed interest in recent days, but at the moment there aren't any concrete discussion as no formal talks have begun. Obviously, this I mentioned this before. Actually, I mentioned those two clubs, Galatasaray and Manchester City. Manchester City obviously signed some Trafford dude. Galatasaray, Donna probably doesn't want to go there. So it's between Chelsea and Manchester United, the Champions League club that just won the Club World Cup, or Manchester United. When it comes to wage, Manchester United will give him a higher wage than Chelsea. So that's something that Donnarumma will think about, not just the sporting stuff. But I could actually see him go to United on the new Amorim project. I could see him either United or Chelsea, but they're inquiring about him. Paris Saint-Germain are asking between 25 to 30 million euros, which I think is a good valuation. I mean, he's a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers aren't that expensive. Plus, he only has 1 year left on his contract. He could decide to sit on the bench until the end of the season, leave for free, get a huge signing bonus and a huge wage. But we'll see Donnarumma's decision, but we'll come to some news that will come back to this. PSG are set to wear their home kit versus Tottenham in the UEFA Super Cup August the 13th. And this is actually great news because the Club World Cup final that we lost, one thing that, I don't know, makes you feel weird, we wear that white kit. We never wear that white kit. We never wear it. We have the beautiful Champions League kit from last season and the home kit, which in the beginning was really bad and then got back in prime. But yeah, happy we're going to use the home kit. It's really nice. It's a really nice kit. PSG are set to fly to Udine tomorrow morning for the UEFA Super Cup versus Tottenham. The last training session is scheduled later that evening at 7 p.m. followed by a press conference at 8:15 p.m. We'll soon get that. Ousmane Dembele was present in today's collective training session ahead of the UEFA Super Cup versus Tottenham. This is great news that Ousmane Dembele is back and fit. And this is breaking news. Gianluigi Donnarumma is not part of the PSG squad that will travel for the UEFA Super Cup versus Tottenham. This is a bit heartbreaking. I even commented on this post saying that only Thiago Silva farewell hurt more than this. And why Thiago Silva's farewell hurt more? Obviously, he was here for a longer time, captain. But I also thought about it after I made that tweet. Donnarumma actually won the UCL. He can leave, I was at the peak of my powers. Thiago Silva, he lost the final. He wanted to go again, man. But yeah, it is really heartbreaking how Donnarumma went from our best keeper, our beloved keeper, someone that tried and failed and finally succeeded, and now we're moving on from him. Feels a bit heartbreaking. Donnarumma, man, you're loved by this fan base for what you've done this season, and just we've seen you. We've seen the hardship you've gone through, and you finally succeeded, and this is how you get treated. Like, you could have had a farewell game in this UEFA Super Cup game, but I think this is a clear message from Paris Saint-Germain wanting to push Gianluigi Donnarumma out, because there were some reports before Donna might stay. Donna and his agents are thinking about the situation, potentially staying for free. Even Fabrizio Romano previously tweeted that Gianluigi Donnarumma it could leave PSG this summer or for free next year. But Paris Saint-Germain are adamant that Donnarumma needs to go and find a new club. As we mentioned, Chelsea, United have interest in him. Donnarumma has to respond to that interest, which he hasn't done so far, because I believe he's still heartbroken. Like, he imagined in his head the future at PSG as well. He's always wanted to become the captain in the future as well. And this is how he gets treated. It's a bit heartbreaking. Gianluigi Donnarumma's entourage are disappointed with the decision to exclude the Italian from the squad heading to the UEFA Super Cup versus Tottenham. The player is set to leave PSG this summer or next summer as a free agent, according to Fabrizio Romano. And I understand his entourage, and I understand Gianluigi Donnarumma being disappointed with this. And it's unfortunate. Lucas Chevalier is present in the squad heading to Udine for the UEFA Super Cup versus Tottenham. However, Ilya Zabani and João Neves are not part of the squad. Ilya Zabani had just come. We haven't even announced him as a PSG player, so he cannot be part of the squad. João Neves is obviously, as we mentioned before, suspended for this final in the first Ligue 1 game. But this means Lucas Chevalier will be the starting keeper. I even made like a predicted lineup what we should play versus Spurs, and I did have Lucas Chevalier in goal, because I believe if we're going to make the step from Donna to Chevalier, let's do it as early as possible. And let's put trust in Chevalier. Yes, this is your first game back at Paris Saint-Germain, and we're going to put you in this final. It will give, him a lot of confidence instead of him sitting on the bench and then having to work himself up. Now he's going to start from the get-go, and Chevalier is going to do a great job. That I am 100% certain of. But hopefully, guys, have enjoyed this video. We will discuss, more news and everything in the future. That's been it from boy PSGINT, and as usual, allez Paris.